But does anyone think about the victims of crime? 30 years ago, it wasn't mentioned or thought of. Today, victims now have rights and assistance to help them through an unimaginable period of their life.
We wanted to say, hey, wait a minute, you harmed another human being. And that got us on the victim thing, really, in terms of, and the more we looked at that, we found there were 25, 30 free services for offenders in our county. And we were doing a bunch of them, and nothing except for the cruiser and the emergency room for victims. You make a difference in lives, and it's hard. You go tell somebody their kid's not coming home. It is the one thing that strikes at our vulnerability. And it's the one thing that brings trauma into more people's lives in this community than anything else. And it was kind of why we said, wait, a justice system that does not address this is not fair, and it's not just. And so that's why we started this. And we started it so that, and we located ourselves in the police department, Akron at the time, and now 2 more, so that we're out where it happens, and then follow that case across. And almost all the victim services in this county we kind of pioneered. We have always made bricks without straw. I mean, right now, we'll work 15,000, 20,000 people a year, one way or the other. But if there is a violent crime, you can pretty well bet we've been there and worked on it, including not just crimes, but automobile crashes where people are killed or seriously injured, suicides. When the agency goes out and works with family on scene in a suicide. So we operate this whole thing on about $800,000 a year. We do it on a shoestring, but it's good stuff.
The last thought anyone would have is being a victim of a crime or assault. We live our lives every day with the joy of being with family and the expectation of being in a safe and secure world. But this world is shattered on a daily basis for hundreds of innocent people.
My son and I was home. We went to the grocery store. We came back. Jason and a friend put the food away. And he stepped outside, and a few minutes later, Anthony screamed that Jason was hurt. I ran to the door. Jason had made up on the porch, and he collapsed. I pushed the front screen door open. I laid him down, and I did CPR. While I was doing CPR, I realized that the first couple of breaths, I breathed into my son, and the third time, he breathed in my mouth, and I knew he was dead. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that I just talked to my son, and he'd been killed. My life stopped. Everything just went blank. Everything stopped. And I do remember there was a lady there from Victim Assistance. That's all I remember. She says that she was from Victim Assistance. She gave me some paper. I gave them to my son. It seemed like after that, everything just went blank. I learned that I can work through the anger. Victim Assistance has helped me to become focused. They're there to help you cope, but not force you to do anything that you're not ready to do. I'm going at my own pace. I don't have nobody saying, well, you should do this or you shouldn't do this. It's like, unless you deal with a tragedy, it's hard to understand what an individual go through.
I'm Carrie Malkovich. She is my counselor. She helped me through a lot that went through my mind, and I wrote it down, and she helped me deal with those feelings and cope, and she helped me realize that I had coping skills and understand that those feelings are normal.
Hi, I'm Kevin Thompson. I've been a proud member of the Board of Directors of Victim Assistance for over 20 years, and I've also been a great supporter. Why? Because I've seen the wonderful work that Victim Assistance has done in this community. The fact that they are able to help people heal after being victims of crime. And I've always been very proud to be part of the organization. However, on September 17th, I got a totally different view of Victim Assistance. One of my children was a victim of a crime, and that I didn't know what to do. She said, "Dad, I need your help." I reached out, my wife and I reached out to help my daughter, but it wasn't the normal things that you can normally fix as a parent. So the first person that I called was Bob Denton, the Executive Director of Victim Assistance. We've been personal and professional friends for a long time. He was able to help me help my daughter. When we returned to Akron, which I was extremely glad to return to Akron, the first person that we met with was Bob Denton. Bob was so kind. He helped my daughter understand what she had been through, helped her understand that she was not broken, that she will get better, we will heal. It will take a time. But I was so happy to be part of this community, of this area, and have an agency such as Victim Assistance to be able to reach out and help us.
Oh yes, it's a day that you would never forget. The guy that would shovel their sidewalk or to earn extra money, it was a friend of theirs, okay? He lived next door, supposedly, lived next door, and he'd come over and Emil would pay him like $50 a week to take care of things. Well, this guy came over and he stabbed Emil 7 times and killed him, okay? He bled out. And Mary, he stabbed her 24 times, swung her around, he stomped her. She was fighting for her life. I don't know how we would have done it without you guys. You guys have always been there, okay? You made it so that where before they said, well, SCAT cannot take you to a nursing home, you know, but you guys, whatever you did, you know, you made them listen. And when Mary was going through that mess, I don't know what you guys did, but wow, so glad that you guys, yeah, you know, you stuck up for her. And you don't get people that stick up, you know, and we didn't know that you could do that, you know, and you guys took over for us when we didn't know what to do.
I was involved in a domestic violence relationship with an ex-boyfriend. The very first contact that I had was with my friend Marianne, who's on your board. She immediately told me to call the Victims Assistance number directly after I was a victim, and I got in touch with Missy. She met me in court the first day. She helped me so much. She guarded me, made me feel so safe. And then I was assigned an advocate through the court system, Erinette. She was able to go to court on my behalf, so I didn't have to go and face my offender. She also helped me file the protection order. And then my offender violated his protection order, and I had to go to court again. So then Keith met me that time. So there's been numerous people that I've been in contact with, and they've all helped tremendously.
Victims Assistance has really helped my family more than helping me the last couple of years. When we first learned about my assault, then it was a hard thing for my wife to deal with, and she had some help that the Victim Assistance gave her, and so did both my daughters, who really needed it, and more than anything else. And they've been friends and supporters ever since. What I am doing, I've started a new company, and my company is Chuck Sandstrom's Speaking Engagements. Yeah, and so I'm gonna try to speak about the things that have really made a difference for me, and hopefully speaking to other people, it can help them to be inspired and to raise money to be able to support other people like me.
Each year, the Victim Assistance Program works with approximately 20,000 people in Summit County who are directly or indirectly affected by crime. It's not just our job. We want to help.
You know, these things don't have an end to them, really. They, you know, you move on, you put some meaning to this thing, you incorporate it, it's a chapter of your life. And the neat thing is, and I think this is the hope that we can give people, is that, you know, there's another chapter coming. This is a tough one, but what you're going through is okay. Bad, hurts, wish we didn't have it, but you're going to make it, and it's okay, because this is normal to get through these kinds of bad things. I don't know too many people who make a bigger dent in the quality of life for people either. When their backs are against the wall, and there's a way out.